this video, I would be showing you how to install a Safariland QLS onto a Dara holster using the bridge. The things we'll need for this are the instruction manual, which will show you the hole reference for the bridge, the required hardware matrix, which lays out what hardware you need for this installation. We'll need our holster, the Safariland QLS, our bridge. For this particular installation, we'll need 3 threaded posts, which you'll find in the blue bag, and we'll need the hardware you'll find in the red bag. We recommend using the original manufacturer's hardware, but if you don't have that, you can find your required hardware in the required hardware matrix, which you can find on our website. You'll also need a number 2 Phillips screwdriver and the included thread locking compound. So for our first step, we're going to take the holster and set it to the side. We won't need that till later, but we will pick up our bridge and our Safariland QLS. What you're going to do is you're going to line up the holes in your QLS with the corresponding holes in the bridge, just like that. Then what we'll do now is we'll take 1 threaded post at a time, insert it into the back side, lining up with the Safariland holes, and we'll use our required hardware. For this, it is the letter B screw if you're using the included hardware. We'll go ahead and install all 3 posts and all 3 screws loosely at first. We install them loosely so that we know everything is lined up. Now, once they're loosely installed, we need to seat our post. You'll know your post will be seated if it is the flat surface of your post is approximately 1/32 below the surface of the bridge. You only need a number 2 Phillips screwdriver for this. Avoid using power tools or like a cordless screw gun. You could round out the head of your screw and then it'll be unusable. It doesn't take much, but now you can see all of our posts are seated about approximately 1/32 below the surface of the bridge. Now that this step is completed, we've inserted our posts. We remove the Safariland QLS from the bridge and we set our hardware to the side because we'll be reusing it again later. And then we'll set our QLS to the side as well. The next step will be installing the bridge onto the holster. You'll do the same as you did with the Safariland mount. You'll line up the corresponding holes in the holster with the corresponding holes in the bridge. Now to install the bridge to a Dara holster, in the red bag you'll find the small screw, which is the letter A screw. Before we install these screws, we'll add a drop of thread locker to the threads. And just like with the attachment, we'll install all of our hardware loosely at first so that we can make sure all the holes line up. So we'll snug them down just a little bit. Now that our hardware is loosely tightened, we can go ahead and tighten it the rest of the way. We recommend tightening these to 25 inch-pounds. If you don't have a torque wrench, you can just use their number 2 Phillips screwdriver, and a good hand tight with these should be sufficient. So now we've installed the bridge onto the holster, we can reinstall our Safariland QLS back onto the bridge. The reason we remove the QLS is because it blocks the mounting holes for the holster. Also, if you install the posts into the incorrect holes, they can be removed and reused, but you'll refer to the post removal instructions and video for that process. So we'll line the holes back up. We'll grab our hardware that we used previously and add a little bit of thread locker to the threads, and then we'll just snug these down until they're seated, but don't tighten them all the way yet because we want to be able to adjust our QLS. So now once they're lightly seated, we can adjust our QLS if we want to can it forward or back. Once we have it right where we want, we'll go ahead and tighten the screws the rest of the way. Again, 25 inch-pounds or a good hand tight with your screwdriver should be fine. Always remember to check your gear for loose hardware, damaged or broken holsters, damaged or broken attachments, and replace as necessary. Now we have our Safariland QLS installed on our Dara holster using the bridge.